As interest rates climbed in February, new home prices just fell to nearly a 3-year low and are now down by about 19% from the peak that was set back in October of 2022. Also, the number of completed houses in which home builders are trying to sell right now just shot up to nearly a 14-year high. This is based on my own analysis of the US Census Bureau's data that was just announced on Monday, March 25th. And of course, in today's video, I'll share all the details. One thing I want to mention that I spent hours and hours researching the latest data we're seeing right now regarding new home sales and also inventory levels as well. At first look, when looking at this report, which I'll share with you guys, it appears that there wasn't a lot of changes that happened this February, but unpeeling the layers, I found a lot of issues and some cracks starting to form in our US housing market regarding new home construction sales. So if you guys get any value out of this video whatsoever, then please hit the like button. Of course, also consider subscribing as well if you guys haven't done so already. And with that said, let's begin today's video because I have a lot to share here. So this was announced on Monday, March 25th, which is today at the time of filming this video. This is for sales and inventory numbers from the US Census Bureau as of February 2024. So scrolling down here, a friendly reminder, this video, just like my videos I make each and every month for you guys regarding this report, is based on new single-family home sales, so excluding townhomes, condos, and apartments, for example. They also define a sale as a deposit taken or a sales agreement signed between a buyer and a home builder. So this is really acting more like a pending home sale in the resale market of existing houses. And this is not based on closed home sales. So you write an offer to the home builder, they accept your offer, or you give them a deposit. That's defined as a sale in this report here. Also, this can occur prior to a permit being issued. So this can be a dirt lot, a house under construction, or a completed house as well. So again, I have so much to share here. Again, just looking at this report, I was kind of looking at it thinking, gosh, not a lot of changes from a year ago and also compared to years past. But again, unpeeling the layers here, some pretty big changes here, which one of the reasons why I want to share this with you guys. So this first table is houses that sold and also houses that are for sale or house inventory. These figures are seasonally adjusted and also are in thousands of units. So for example, this February, 662,000 was a seasonally adjusted annualized rate of home sales nationwide. This was flat compared to the previous month, a small decrease of 0.3%, but it did increase by 5.9% compared to February 2023. However, it was a miss regarding the street's forecast though, because the forecast was calling for 675,000 sales, whereas we only had 662,000. Also, according to the National Association of Home Builders, or the NAHB, they reported about a week ago that the share of builders offering some form of incentives to home buyers for the month of February was at 60%. So approximately 6 out of every 10 builders nationwide are offering incentives to home buyers. As I mentioned in previous videos, I'm a realtor here in the greater Sacramento area. I've done a lot of neighborhood tours, especially new home construction for my clients who find me on YouTube, believe it or not. In any case, what's more normal than not is for builders to offer a $10,000 closing cost credit to help pay for their out-of-pocket expenses in buying a house. And because of these incentives that builders are offering, this is one of the reasons why sales have been supported. Much different than the resale market where we're not seeing this same dynamic occur here. So in any case, I mentioned that because it's pretty remarkable to see that sales still decreased from the previous month, even though approximately 60% of builders are still offering some form of incentives to home buyers. In my personal opinion, this decrease in sales, again, the sales pace for February, is due to 3 main reasons. So please comment below your thoughts regarding this. In my opinion, we're seeing this decrease in sales from January due to rates rising in February. I'll share that with you guys in a little bit because we had 3 consecutive months of decreases on a monthly basis regarding average mortgage rates. And now in February, also in March as well, we're seeing an increase in rates. Number 2, the decrease in sales also is due to a rise of inventory levels as well. I have a lot to share regarding that. On top of that, we're seeing a mix in sales as well. A higher share of sales that sold for less than $400,000, but a lower share of sales that sold for over $750,000. Again, I'll share that with you guys here in a little bit. Also, regarding year-to-date sales, overall for the US, we're up by 4.4%. Also, a huge increase in the Northeast, up by 47% year-to-date. The Midwest surging by 30%, and also the West up by 41%. The South, for whatever reason, is down 13.4%. So real estate is local. Let's have a look at our good Uncle Fred here regarding sales. Again, more like a pending home sale for new single-family houses. So at 662,000 for February, this has more or less been on a downward trend, especially compared to December 2021 and the peak, which was set around August of 2020. Also at 662,000, this is below pre-COVID levels as well. So like I mentioned, one of the reasons why, in my opinion, why we're seeing a decrease in sales this January is because of this right here. This is average rates according to Freddie Mac for a 30-year fix for people with great credit, of course. We're decreasing for 3 consecutive months. That was November through January. So in January, the average 30-year fixed rate, that's the average rate for the entire month of January, was at 6.64%. Then it increased slightly in February to 6.78%. Again, that's one of the reasons why we're seeing a decrease in sales this February. Let's also have a look at the rise of inventory levels. So there's approximately 463,000 new single-family houses for sale. Again, this could be a dirt lot, a home under construction, or a completed house as well. That's a small increase of 1.3% from January, but a 5.9% rise from 12 months ago. Now, again, not just looking at month-to-month changes and year-over-year changes, that does not tell us the full story here, because looking at this data, I want to share this with you guys. This is actually a 16-month high. So inventory levels rose to a 16-month high in February. And you see that right here. February, 463,000, the highest level we've seen since October 2022. This is also way above pre-COVID levels. So for example, February 2020, only 328,000 houses for sale. And also back in February of 2019, only 339,000. So not only do we have a supply increasing to a 16-month high, but also it's way above pre-COVID levels as well. Let's also have a look at the month supply, because the month supply this February is at 8.4 months, virtually flat on a month-to-month basis and also flat from 1 year ago. To provide some context here, a month supply for new home construction, a more normal range is in the range of 4 to 6 months. So we're still way above long-term averages. We're still below the all-time record high that was set way back in January 2009, when the month supply was a whopping 12.2 months. But we're also much higher compared to the all-time record lows that was set back in August of 2020, when the month supply was only at 3.3 months. Okay, let's change gears slightly here and talk about home prices. Very big changes here. Definitely pay attention here, because the numbers here are going down. But again, keep in mind that builders overall are more likely than not offering incentives to home buyers, but prices are still going down. So the median sold price this February was just over $400,000. 1 year ago this time, it was at $433,300. So the US median sold price is down by 8% on a year-over-year basis. On top of that, at $400,500 this February, that's the lowest levels since June of 2021. In other words, nearly a 3-year low. On top of that, the all-time record highs was set back in October of 2022 when the median US home sold price was at $497,000. This is wild, right? Because the peak back in October 2022 was approximately $97,000 higher than this February. So again, overall, year over year, down by 8% and also down by about 19% from the peak that was set back in October of 2022. Let's take a look at a good Uncle Fred here. 400,000 this February has been going down ever since really November of 2022. But at 400,000 approximately, this is the lowest levels we've seen going back to June of 2021 when the median sold price sold, this is based on contracts being signed, was approximately $375,000. Remember when I said part of the reason why we're seeing a decrease in prices is due to decreasing demand because we have 7% rates, but also due to the fact we have a rise of inventory levels, but also due to the mix in sales this February as well compared to February of 2023. And that is this right here. This is a percent of sales by each of these price ranges here. So we have a higher share of houses that sold for less than $400,000. So for example, in the range of 200 to about 300,000, 1 year ago, 11% of all sales occurred in that price range. But this February, that increased to 16%. Also in the range of 300,000 to 400,000, it went from 30% of all sales to 34%. So a higher share of houses that sold in the range of less than 400,000. In contrast, we saw a lower share of houses that sold in the upper range, in the range of 500,000 to 749,000. That was at 29% a year ago. Now it's only 22%. Also check this out because this is a metric I have been reporting to you guys for probably over a year. And I've been telling you guys, this is a metric we should closely follow. This is the amount of houses that are for sale in which the house is already completed, in which the home builder needs to get sold. Just think of it this way. The house is already built. They just need a buyer to purchase it and move in. Much different compared to a sale of a dirt lot in which the home builder is not going to complete it for 6 to 12 months. So there's a lot of costs associated with building a house. And because of this, when looking at completed houses in which builders cannot sell, that is a red flag. That is this right here. Houses for sale, again, 463,000 right there. But completed houses, 85,000. Compare that to 69,000 1 year ago. So there's 85,000 completed houses that are for sale that have not been sold. This is an increase of 23% from 12 months ago. Also, it's much higher compared to pre-COVID levels as well. And on top of that, this is actually the highest number of completed houses for sale that we've seen since September of 2010. In other words, completed houses for sale, nearly a 14-year high. For comparison's sake, the all-time record high though, that was set back in September of 2007 was a whopping 194,000 completed houses for sale on a national level. Let's take a look at our good Uncle Fred regarding this because this is again, something we should closely monitor, which I'm not seeing anyone else really talk about this very much, but at 85,000, this is higher than pre-COVID levels. So for example, February 2020, 77,000. February, let's look at 2019. February 2019, we were at only 74,000. So at 85,000 right now, much higher compared to pre-COVID levels. On top of that, this is actually the highest level we've seen going back to September of 2010. I will definitely keep you posted regarding this because if this trend continues, where completed houses for sale keep on rising, and this is actually rising pretty quickly here, this would be a recipe for disaster for home builders in which they're building houses, but they're not able to sell them. And keep in mind, this is on top of the fact that overall builders are offering incentives and home sold prices just decreased to nearly a 3-year low as well. And with that said, please comment below your biggest takeaways from today's video. Also, if you guys got any value out of this video whatsoever, then please hit the like button. I greatly appreciate that. Of course, appreciate you. Hope you guys have an awesome day and look forward to seeing you on the next video.